Welcome to the Living Wisdom YouTube channel. The subject of our episode today is the origin of war. The origin of all wars can be traced to one simple reason. All wars arise as a result of violations of natural law by the people living in the country. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, the great scientist of consciousness, has said, calamities, crises, and catastrophes in a community or country are caused by the increase of negative forces resulting from the evil deeds of a majority of their people. A high degree of concentration of negative forces without positive forces to balance them ends in suffering and destruction of life. Similarly, a high degree of concentration of positive forces fails to maintain life in its normal state. The life of an individual under the influence of increasing positive forces enters into a field of increasing happiness and is eventually transformed into bliss consciousness, in which state it gains the status of cosmic existence, eternal life. So we want to understand that when the negative forces predominate, the power of Dharma, or the power of that force of evolution, restores the balance by producing sensations of pain and suffering. Life is exactly as we want it, either suffering or joy. When we allow the positive and negative forces to remain in their normal state of equilibrium, we live through normal periods of life. Assisting the growth of negative forces results in suffering. When we help the positive forces to increase, we share the joy of life. As you sow, so shall you reap, expresses the role of Dharma, or the force of evolution, in practical life. So we see actually that we find that the increase of negative forces always ends in passivity or extinction of life, whereas the increase of positive forces results in life eternal. Our individual life moves backwards and forwards automatically as we direct it under the influence of Dharma. Positive and negative forces, as we develop them, play their role on the field of Dharma and shape the destiny of life. This is from Maharishi Mahesh Yogi's commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, verse 1. So we see that on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, we find that the negative forces are facing the positive forces on the field of Dharma. This field of Kurukshetra is very similar to the battlefield of life itself, where there's always a conflict between the opposing forces of good and evil, right and wrong, gain and loss, joy and sorrow. This is the field of Dharma, on the field of Kurukshetra, on the very battlefield of life. And we find that the Pandavas and the Kauravas are facing each other. There's the force of positivity represented by the Pandavas and the force of negativity represented by the Kauravas. And these two families, which are related to each other, have to face each other on the very battlefield of life. We see that the positive forces triumph in the end of the battle because positivity always triumphs over negativity, because the negative forces have been involved in encouraging negativity and the growth of many evil actions on the battlefield of life. And as a result of the encouragement of many evil actions on the battlefield of life, the Kauravas have been already doomed to destruction as a result of the actions that they have performed on the battlefield of life. And because the cosmic law says, as you sow, so shall you reap. So they have reaped the destruction of the entire family as a result of the negative forces which they have grown, the negative forces which they have encouraged on the battlefield of life. So we see today in the world events, we have that same battlefield of opposing forces, the conflict between opposing forces. And whoever has sown negativity will reap negativity, and whoever has sown positivity will reap positivity, because this is the cosmic law. This is the law of the universe. And there's nothing that can alter the cosmic law, which always moves in the direction to support the positivity and annihilate the negativity. This is the law which is governing the cosmos, and this is the law which prevails in the entire universe.